abandoned by humans. There are animals that are born to survive. Others that survive against all the odds. The natives. Freed 100 years ago. They've made this harsh country into something special. Africa's Wild West. Flat or folded. The Namib Desert in southwest Africa offers a precious treasure. Water, every drop you can get. There's a perfectly round, man-made pool in the desert. It's here because of this town. Luderhitz, a small colonial port on the edge of the desert. In what was once German Southwest Africa, now Namibia. When diamonds were found here in 1908, the colonists fenced off the area. This was the Sperrgebiet, the forbidden zone. Luderhitz became home to hundreds of daring German fortune hunters. Their town soon became a base to open up the country. With a new railroad into the interior. You can still see the water tank that slaked the locomotive's thirst halfway down the line. Water is still a precious commodity today. But by 1915, in the First World War, it was all over. The German forces were defeated by Britain's South African allies. Those that could left. Others stayed longer at the Allies' prisoner of war camp at Aus, deep in the desert. Some stayed here forever. Both sides left their horses behind. Left for dead, 50 survived. Because of this one round well at Garrow.
It's the first and the grandest palace in the history of this royal enclosure, which was built by the first emperor.
የቀደሙ በስተት ነው። ዋናው የአፍሪካ ኢትዮጵያ ችግር የለው። ውዶችዬ ለማንኛውም ነው እናክሰኝ ሰላም ነው ሰላም ሲበዛ ማለት ነው ደስተኝ እስቲ አብረን ዛሬ ወደ ጎንደር እንሳፈር ትራንስፖርት ላይ ከፍዬላችኋለሁ እሺ ኑ በጥቂቱ ካልዋት ነገሮች በጥቂቱ ኢትዮጵያን ዛሬ አብረን ጎብኘት እናርጋት እና ነው አብረን ንሳፈር አብረን ጎብኝ ኢትዮጵያን ዛሬ ከኔ ጋራ እንዴት ዋላችሁ እንዴት አመሻችሁ እንዴት አደራችሁ በያላችሁበት ሀገር ማለት ነው
starting from the 1630s of course the first capital city of Ethiopia had been Aksum but at different time I think you know what means Solomonic dynasty in Ethiopia in the Bible it's written as Queen Sheba traveled to visit the Israeli king Solomon and she had a baby from him called the first Menelik and after he gets old enough he became the king of Ethiopia so then after him all those kings and emperors who had a bloodline with him called Solomonic dynasty so in Ethiopia they ruled for about 704 years in total I think the longest dynasty in this world actually they were failing and rising at different time so the first capital city of Ethiopia had been Aksum, but at different time, as I told you, Solomonic dynasty was raised and fell. So when it fell, they shifted the capital city from Aksum to Lalibela. Because in the 12th century, starting from 1137 to 1268, there was a new dynasty called Zagwe. So that dynasty chose the Lalibela as a capital city. So they moved it there. Then after Zagwe dynasty fell, almost for about 300 years in Ethiopia had been religious war in between Muslims and Orthodox Christians. So during that time, those Portuguese, they were helping the Christian side and Muslims were helped by Ottoman Turks. So during that time, Ethiopia had no more permanent capital city. Instead, there used to be mobile capital city which moves from place to place with those kings. So before 1632, before Emperor Fasilides, who founded Gondar as a capital city, before he came to power, the king of Ethiopia was his father. His name is called Sisinios. And King Sisinios' mobile capital city had been on the northern shore of Lake Tana, called Gorgora, which is about 60 kilometers away from Gondar. So after he got military support, King Sisinios, from those Portuguese, he won the war, which is then with those Muslims. He defeated all the Muslims. And then right after that, those Portuguese followed by Jesuits who were Roman Catholic priests, and then they convinced him to convert his religion from Orthodox to be a Roman Catholic. And then finally, he converted his religion, and he started to proclaim the national religion of Ethiopia is going to be Roman Catholic. Because of that, again, the majority of the people rebel against him, and they start to fight with him. Even within a month war, more than 32,000 Ethiopian people passed away. Since the majority were not from King Sisinios, they were able to throw out King Sisinios from his power, and they brought his first son Fasilides. The reason why they brought his first son had been mainly for two reasons. The first reason, as I told you earlier, they had to keep the continuity of Solomonic dynasty. So they brought him. The second reason, they have to keep, he was Orthodox Christian.
እስቲ ባለን ነገር ፕራውድ እንሁን ስለራሳችን እስቲ ነው ያለን ነገር እስቲ በቃ እንደ ኢትዮጵያዊነት ያኩራን ደስ ይበለን ተከታተሉ በእናትህ
Finally, after 4 years in 1636, he came over here and he established Gondar as a capital city for Ethiopia. The reason why it made him to choose Gondar as a capital city mainly had been for three reasons. The first reason, when you see Gondar from a distance, it's surrounded by 7 chained mountains. It's a very strategic place. In military sense, you can defend or escape from your enemies. And the second reason, its altitude is 2,220 meters above sea level, plus or minus 50 meters, not exact, it's not flat as you see. So it was not cold, it was not hot as today. It's getting warmer now, I can feel it. I born and grew up here. It had good weather condition. And the third reason, it's free from malaria. That's why he brought it here over. Then after this, we will see 6 palaces in this compound, and different buildings, which was built by different emperors. So this is the first and the grandest palace in the history of this royal enclosure, which was built by the first emperor Fasilides, who came to power in 1632. With 32 meters tall and 625 meter square basement area. The ground had more than 20 rooms, used to be as a kitchen, as a warehouse, and as a residence for the servants who were very close to Emperor Fasilides. By the way, we can able to see only the first floor, which is very important to see. The rest is just closed more than a decade ago for restoration purpose. As you see, the wooden balcony starts to collapse, so they just closed it. Anyways, as you see over the first floor, there are 3 big gates. Inside there are 3 big halls. The left one had been his court and reception hall. Then the middle one had been men's dining room, and the last one had been women's dining room. Of course, some of the historians, they said it was because of gender inequality, and some of them put it as it is just still the culture in the countryside. If you go and see when there is like a ceremony of wedding like that, they sit separately, even inside the Church of Orthodox. Anyways, they had separate dining room. Over the second floor, you see a crown-shaped design gate with a small balcony over the second floor. That had been his proclamation window. When he wants to address his people, he used to come through that balcony. Nobody else were allowed to come through that, only for himself. This, royal enclosure is very huge, 70,000 meter square area, mean 7 hectares, with different 12 gates, symbolized by 12 apostles of Jesus Christ, were opened also for different reasons. So the main gate had been that one which we used to come inside. So the people used to be at the gate and gathered under the palace. But for the sake of his dignity and pride, he was not expected directly to give speech to the people who were gathered under here. Instead, he used to be a spokesperson, called during that time Mouth of the King, who was acting like a spokesperson. So the Mouth of the King used to stand at the first floor at the middle door. Right on the top of him, Emperor, so he quietly transferred his message to the Mouth of the King, say this and that to my people. And then after he heard, he shouted to the people. It was the way how he was addressing the people. Over the third floor, you see, a crown, just a small balcony with a gate. You see a staircase, that had been his bedroom. For the sake of their safety, most of emperors put their bedroom on the top. Where the flag blows, the kind of fortress you see, used to be at the watching tower. From there, by the way, you can see all the way down to Lake Tana. So it's a very strategic place. The other thing what I want to tell you about this palace is this conical shaped design dome towers in each corners. So 1, 2, 3. So they hold in each corners. It was purposely built for 2 reasons, these dome towers. As you see from the bottom, this palace is very wide, but when you come up, it's getting narrower and narrower. So it holds as a structure. It has no any beams inside, so it holds as an enforcement, not be collapsed easily. And second reason, as you see, there are windows. You see over the first floor in each dome towers. So it has its own rooms inside, used to be as a guard room from each corners. Over the second floor, each dome tower has 3 windows, 3 times 4, 12 windows, symbolized by 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. Used to be as his own prayer rooms, because in Ethiopia, we don't have 13 months in a year. The first 12 months have equal 30 days, but the last one has only 5 days. But in each 4 leap year, it will be 6, like your February. So each day is dedicated for different saints and angels. If you ask religious people or elderly people, usually, if you ask what's the day today, they say, oh, today is Saint George, tomorrow is Saint Michael. They count in such a way. Anyways, those windows faces to different churches. About 44 churches were built after him. So used to be as a guard room. He was not expected directly to went and mix with those people, with the ordinary people. The second building, which was built by him, had been this one. Now it gets ruined actually. These 2 ruined walls you see. On the top had been arch. All the way up there, you see the arched gate with the wall and the roof. Used to be as a coronation hall. And the third one, which was built by him, had been that one, with the square tower. Used to be as an archive or a library. It is believed the first well-organized library in Ethiopian history. And chronicles used to be lived here over there too. So let's go first to the first floor, and then we'll keep continue to the rest. Okay. Here over, it's written his coronation name. His name is actually Fasil, but in Ethiopian history, before this, before it gets modernized, we used a coronation name. So when they came to power, or it could be prefix or suffix they add, and it would be their coronation name. Anyways, Alam Sagad Fasil means the world need to Fasil mean to show his power. He ruled from 62 to 67 for 35 years. Actually, it is Urs calendar, Gregorian calendar. On the top, it's an ancient language of Ethiopia called Ge'ez, where Amharic came from that. Now we don't use anymore for communication. It's left only in the church. So it says that 1624 to 1660. It says 1624, 1632. So now you are 8 years younger. Enjoy. Okay, as I told you from the ground, this had been his court and reception hall. The next two are men and women's dining room. We'll see it respectively. Here over, let me show you. There is architectural style over the wall, which is chiseled. You see, the left and the right, they are the same. They are Portuguese architectural style, and the middle, Moorish architectural style, mean a mixed architectural style of Morocco and Spain. In general, in the medieval period, which shows the civilization of Northern Africa countries and the South Europe mixed one. And the Mughal one, you see both of them at the back, left and right, you see? They are Indians or the Mughal architectural style. So if you ask me why the reason they put this as architectural style, because before 1632, before Gondar established as a capital city, Gondar had been a commercial center for many traders, just foreigner traders, like Armenian, Jewish, Spanish, Portuguese, Indians. The South Arabian traders used to live here because of mainly three trade routes which centered Gondar. The first one from here all the way to north, crossing Simen Mountains to Port Massawa, which belongs to Eritrea now, and then after crossing the Red Sea, which goes to Yemen, to the South Arabian countries. And the second trade route from here all the way northeast to west, northwest, and then after Khartoum, following the river of Nile, which goes all the way up to Cairo, to Mediterranean. And the third one from here all the way down to South Mombasa port, which is Kenya, and then crossing Indian Ocean to Asia. Because of these trade routes, those traders used to live here. But finally, after this emperor came to power, he let them go, all those foreigners from Ethiopia. The reason why it made him to take that measure was, before he came to power, as I told you, had been some religious conflict, and then after even his father took the power because of converting his religion to Catholic, then again that happened. So he thought that the reason why these foreigners were coming just to convert the religion, he thought that, and then he let them go, and he started to use a closed door police system, which lasted almost for about 200 years after him. Then finally, after Ethiopian craftsmen finished this palace, he told them to put different architectural style, as he didn't hate, just he did for the sake of the security of the country, and it used just to remind those different people, different nations. That's why it was put. When we talk architectural wisely in Ethiopia, we do have three types of architectural style. The first one called Aksumite, and the second one is Lalibela architectural style, and the third one, this one, Gondorian. When we say architectural style, it doesn't mean only the structure or the design of the buildings, but also it matters the materials you use to build. So in Gondorian architectural style, mainly there used to be four materials. The first material, as you saw from outside, from the ruined walls, the walls were built from the stone called basaltic stone. It's the basalt stone, the black stone. And to make the arches of the window, the gates, the chimney inside, we'll see those stones are called volcanic red tuff stone. They are not bricks like Egyptians. And they cut it and shape it. And the third material, any wooden parts for the floor, for the ceiling, any wooden parts had been ebony. Ebony. Black wood, which is very expensive now. It's very hard to get even for souvenir. I think ebony and ivory, the piano. Yeah. Now, actually, a little left in the southern part, but it's very hard to get it. Now, this one is a restored one, which is juniper and olive, Africana. But originally it was not. And the fourth material to glue and for plastering, there used to be limestone. It's not a cement. Limestone actually it takes long process to have a sticky character. From 5 to 10 years it takes to have a sticky character. They crush it and burn it and mix it with a big barrel with water and ferment it for months. And then after they dig a big hole and buried it for years, up to 10 years. And then after they will dig it out again and crush it again. And then after it will have a sticky character. Doesn't crack easily. That's why it stands still 400 years. Actually, this is the white one. It's restored, but the gray part still it's original. It's very light, even you can knock it. So it is typically Gondorian architectural style. The other thing, what I'm telling you is, you see right in the middle, on the top, see a Star of David, left here, and right on the top of the guest tomb. That's Star of David. There used to be different symbols to show that they were from Solomonic dynasty. In Ethiopian history, the last emperor was from Solomonic dynasty was Emperor Haile Selassie. I think you know him recently, who falls in 1974. Then after the country became communist, and then his government came to power. So when they came to power, people were believing that these people were from Solomonic dynasty, so they are deserved to be a leader or a king. So immediately one king, when he came to power, whether he is real or not, it doesn't matter, but he had to convince the people as he was from Solomonic dynasty. And then the people, okay, you are deserved to be a king. We'll vote for you. But if you're not, that's why it was a political strategy just to convince the people. That's why they put. This is a chimney. Actually, there are different chimneys in different those palaces. But what makes this chimney different from the others, it used to warm up both dining rooms, men as well as women. At the same time, this chimney, it goes up to his bedroom. There's a big hall. It goes up to his bedroom, and there are channels which takes the smoke from here to different parts of the walls. So it used to be like a central heating system. This had been his dressing room. Here over, you can see these stripes colors, you see, which round this room. It's faded since that time, actually. It had been the symbolic representation of rainbow. So in the Bible, it has its own biblical meaning. Covenant, yeah. After the Ark of Noah, after the flood, yeah? I think you know all of you the story. Yeah. So it was deliberately designed this because, it had been his dressing room before he passed any decision in his courtroom. While he dressed up, it made him to remind mercy before he going to pass any harsh decisions. So it had psychological, so deliberately designed because of that. You see, here had been a vaulted-shaped design ceiling from there to here. It just collapsed during the Second World War, from there to here. So the water was collected from the roof. During that time, the inhabitants of Gondar was estimated from 65,000 to 70,000 people. So those people used to be two rivers as a water supply, which is nearby the town. But for the royal family, it used to be this system. So you see, one channel here, the other channel is over there. They meet at this square hole. You see this square hole to put sands to filter the water. And the filtered water, it comes through and enters through this hole. And the water, you see, runs and refill it at the middle. And then after they refill it, that is to not be collapsed the roof. Used to be as overflow, rectangular hole. The staircase to go down and fetch water. During that time, after Emperor Fasilides died, his son, his name is called Johannes. Johannes the First, not Johannes the Fourth. Johannes the First took the power from him, and he built this smallest palace in the history of this royal enclosure. The yellowish color one. You see, the reason why he built the smallest palace in the history of this royal enclosure, he was very humble guy. he came with different philosophies. He ruled for 15 years, from 1667 to 1682. When he came to power, he completely changed the political system after his father. He set free all Ethiopian poor people to be out of tax. He was only collecting tax from poor peoples. Noble peoples or rich peoples. So he had no enough income to build bigger like his father. For your surprise, he is the first emperor who came for animals' rights. There was animals' rights in Ethiopia by proclamation. When I said just animals' rights, for example, nobody were allowed to hold chickens upside down when they came to market. They had to put it in a cage. He was very smart guy. After his father, he is the first
እዚህ ከኛ እየቀሙ የእንስሳት ህግ ምናምን ይላሉ። የመጀመሪያው የእንስሳትን ህግ የሚያስጠብቀው ማን ነው? ሰላም ላንቺ ቤት አሜን።
After 15 years, I can say in Ethiopian history, as far as I know, he's the first one, could be the last in Ethiopian
ዛሬ
history.
እነሱ ይዘው የኛን ታይትል እየነጠቁ ይዘው ይሮጣሉ።
And he went to the monastery
there is secret ካላችሁ
to monastery around Lake Tana. And after he became a monk, he died over there. And then he just succeeded by his first son. His name is called Iyasu or Joshua. Actually, most of them, they do have biblical names. Then after Johannes, his son succeeded the power from him. His name is called Iyasu, as I told you. He ruled for 24 years, from 1692 to 1706. For 24 years he ruled. He completely changed the politics. He abdicated the political system. He started to tax everybody again, even out of Ethiopia. There was a French physician. His name is called Charles Ponce, who was able to get into Ethiopia. Then based on his diary, there is a book called The Abyssinia. So in that book, the close friend of him, then after he wrote that diary, and then based on that diary, there's a book called The Abyssinian. So in that diary, that book, you can read that how far this emperor was collecting tax. To north, up to southern Egypt, he was collecting tax. Because he was threatening them, as you will block or divert the river of Nile. So they let him tax the southern part. To south, up to Mombasa port. To west, up to Khartoum. To east, up to Yemen, he was collecting tax. From all these circumstances, he was very powerful emperor. That's why many historian authors compared this palace with the Israeli King Solomon's palace. Not because of its size, but because of its beautiness. The inside part of the wall was gilded with different precious stones and minerals like diamond, gold, silver, ivory, with different precious stones too. It was gilded. This is, actually, if you compare it, of course, the first one is the biggest one, but in terms of cost, this was very expensive. The king, Emperor Iyasu, or Joshua, and his wife, it's believed that they used to sit frequently in these windows. You see, this is the original ceiling. It was vaulted. You see this round wall from here all the way down there where we go, and the opposite sides of the walls, that ones too, was covered by full of sand and soil. It looks like a small mound. 32 years ago was excavated by UNESCO experts. It had been a separate dining hall for this prosperous emperor. He had separate dining hall. Then after Iyasu, his son, his name is called David. He built this palace, the fourth palace, and he built this lion's cage. This had been a lion's cage, which was built by David, Emperor David. The reason, why they used to keep lions, as I told you earlier, there used to be different symbols to show that they were from Solomonic dynasty, from the line of Judah. Even 24 years ago had been the lions. The last lions have been here. And then after, UNESCO said no, to put lions in a cage. This had been built by Emperor David, was the first one. So while he built it, he made it to have 2 concert halls. Here had been a partition wall which separated these 2 concert halls. The right side had been a concert hall for secular music. The left one, with 12 fake windows symbolized by 12 apostles of Jesus Christ, used to be for religious purpose. So he was very artistic emperor. He gave priority for different artists in his time, like for literature, painting, music. He was so interested in different related professions. So even in his time had been competition of musicians all over Ethiopia, and the best one after they came over here and performed it, he gave prizes for those who performed it very well. He was very artistic emperor. That's why he was not good at politics. He only just ruled for 5 years. And then of course, some of the historians, they say that it is very true, as he's poisoned by his own younger brother. And some of still, they argue that as it's not a true story, because there is no any evidence, they say. But anyways, he just died suddenly. And then his younger brother succeeded the power after him. We'll see. These round walls used to be as a warehouse for different musical instruments, as well as a dressing room, like a backstage, before they perform it in the concert hall. I think do you remember the third emperor? The third one, the first one, Fasil, who established Gondar as a capital city, and then after his son, Johannes, Joshua, the third one, Iyasu. He was suffering from syphilis. According to syphilis, actually it doesn't say directly syphilis, but what written documents got from the church is he got a disease which lets him to like scratch, like itching and spot on his skin, so could be syphilis. Anyways, because of that, he thought that it was skin disease. He built a steam bath in that. You see that's a steam bath? Already the other groups get in. Okay, you see, it has 4 sections. So this is the fire section. And the next 3 are, I'll show you from inside. So the servants used to go down using ladder. And you see arched hall right at the bottom, which is connected to the main steam bathroom. So in the main steam bathroom had been very big and plastered, which is right attached on the top of that arch and plastered by limestone. So weren't able to get in any smoke from here when they fired heated. And then after, I will show you. It had been a dressing room. This harness just hung their clothes. This had been a big flat stone, which was heated from the fire room by the servants, and after it's heated, now it's getting pieces actually. So over the first floor had been a very tiny small room, used to be for elderly people and for those who had that problem, because when they just pour the water from top, it's very intensive here. So the young people, they used to be here, and the rest of the steam is kept and less intensive. So those people who had that problem were able to use relaxedly from top. And then after they heated, in the middle room, in the same fashion, there are clay holes, which are used as a cooling room. And then after they cool their body, to the shower room, to the bathroom. Jacuzzi. Yeah. And maybe it was with warm water. Maybe the poor people will come with tube to make the bubble. After David, his younger brother succeeded the power from him. His name is Bakafa. He ruled for 9 years, from 1721 to 30. He was a very warrior guy. He built his own palace here over, inside we'll see a big banqueting hall. Here in front of the banqueting hall, you see these gates used to be as for stabling for horse. The biggest banqueting hall in this compound. Wow. Actually, the ceiling is not original. During the Second World War, as I told you, the Italian used to be as a military basement. So they put this cement mortar with a steel. So even at the mid-heights, both sides of the heights of the walls had been a wooden beam, which was gilded with different precious stones and minerals, but looted at different time. But it's not before, it's before the Second World War. So maybe Emperor Bakafa sits here and his wife on the other side of the table. And then, please pass the salt. Wow. After Bakafa, he just died from malaria. He didn't go from Gondar. Before he died, he went to the boundary of Sudan, which is very low land. After he came to Gondar, he just died. And then when he died, his son was 8 years old, the second Iyasu. He was too young to come to power, so his mother came as the regent of her son. And she built with her son the sixth palace. This is the first palace which had a glass window and a glass door for the first time. The rest had been wooden. So it had been much more decorated one. Had been a balcony from left to right. Then she ruled for 12 and a half years. And then after her son became 21, he took the power. But he was not wise as she was. So she continue running the country for more 12 and a half years. In total for 25 years she ruled. And then after that, it started to crack the central government because those regional kings, they kept refusing to not give any more tax for the central government. So finally in 770 collapsed. Then after that's called, which I told you earlier, the era of princes. Those princes, they split the land of Ethiopia and they ruled for 86 years. No more unified Ethiopia. And then after the statue guy, which I told you from outside, right at the middle of the town, Emperor Theodorus, reunified in 1855. And then after him, the fourth Johannes came to power. And then after him, Menelik II. And then Emperor Haile Selassie. Of course, in the meantime, Zewditu and Iyasu. We call them Liji Iyasu. And then after the country became communist in 1974 to 1991. And then the current government came to power. The leader died about 3.5 years ago. His name is Meles Zenawi. And we had election about a year ago. Each 5 years we'll have election. It was a rumor who's going to come after 4 years, but now it's very clear. He's very young guy. He starts to get support from US, from European Union. For sure, he will come and will be a prime minister for Ethiopia after 4 years.
እሺ እንዴት ቆያችሁልኝ? እየተጫወታችሁ እንደቆያችሁ እርግጠኛ ነኝ። እስቲ ደግሞ አሁን ወደ ሌላኛው ቦታ ልሰዳችሁ። ወደ ሌላ ቦታ ልሰዳችሁ። What's wrong? እና አላችኋለሁ። አሁን ደግሞ እስቲ ወደዚች ጋር እንጣ። የተፈቀዱልን ነገር ነው የምናየው። እሺ ፋሲል ነው የምናየው። እያየነው ነበር ግን እስቲ ደግሞ በከለሩ በተለያየ ጊዜ ተቀረጸ ነው። ዛሬ ዙሌ ነው እንደምታነጋው እንዳትሉኝ እስክትመጡ ነው። ሰዓቴ ደርሶ ስትገቡ እንወያያለን። እስከዛ ግን እንደዚህ እናያለን ማለት ነው። ፋሲለደስ እንግዲህ ኢትዮጵያ ላድናት ማለት አንድ ላይ በመሆን ያሏት ነገሮች እናወጣለን። እንደ ባህል የሚያምሩ ነገሮችን እንጎበኝላታለን። እንደ ባህል ጎጂ ብለን የምናምነውን ደግሞ እናወራበታለን። እነዚህ ደግሞ እጅግ በጣም የሚያምሩ የሚደነቁ ዓለም ያደነቃቸው እኛ ማድነቅ ያለብን ልንጎበኛቸው ቢገባቸው የኛ የራሳችን የሆኑ ሀብቶቻችን ናቸው። ኢትዮጵያ ባለ ብዙ ቅርስና ባለ ብዙ ነገር ሀብት ያላት የሌላ የራሳችንን ትተን ሌላ ነው የምናደንቀውና ያ ደግሞ ስህተት ነው። እስቲ ያለንን ነገር ለዓለም እናቅርብ። በጣም ብዙ የሚታዩ ነገሮች አሉ፣ በጣም ብዙ የሚደነቁና እነዛን ድንቅ ነገሮች ለምንድን ነው የምንላቸው? በጣም ብዙ የሚያምሩ ነገሮች አሉን፣ በጣም ብዙ የሚጎበኙ ነገሮች አሉን። ነገር ግን በጣም ብዙ መጥፎ ነገሮች መለያችን ስድብ እስኪሆን ድረስ ፌስቡኮች፣ ዩቱቦች በስድብ ተጨናንቀዋል እና ፈታት ዘና ብሎ መጫወት መልካም ነው። ነገር ግን እንደ ቋንቋ እንዳንለምደው ከዛ ነገር ወጥተን ለዓለም ማስጎብኘት ያለብን። ደስ ይዩት ይህን ስር ራሱ አያምርም? እኛ ማለት እንደዚህ ተሳሰርነን በቃ ማን ሊፈታን ይችላል? እኔ ኢትዮጵያዊነትን እንደዚህኛው ሩት ነው የኛውን ስር እዩትና ቀንዲ ነው የምናምረው። ይሴ እንዴት ተሳሰርነን ውበታችንን እና ይሄን ውበታችንን ይሄ ደግሞ ደብረ ብርሃን ስላሴ ቸርች ይባላል። ይሄኛው ደብረ ብርሃንን ታውቁታላችሁ? እኔ በእውነት በጣም ብዙ ነገር እንደጎደለኝ ነው የሚሰማው። ሀገሬን አላውቃትም በብዛት እንደዚህ ሄጄ መጎብኘት እፈልጋለሁ። በብዛት ብዙ ቦታዎችን እንደዚህ ሲያወሩ ነጮቹ ምናምን እጅግ በጣም ነው በቅናት መቃጠለው እና እነሱ ሰርተው ትርፍ ጊዜያቸውን ገንዘብ አጠራቅሞ ለቱር ይሄዳሉ። እኛ ደግሞ ያው ለምን ላይፍ ሾርት ነው እስካሉ ድረስ ማየት ያለባቸው ብዙ ቦታ አይተዋል እነሱና እኛ ግን ያላየናቸው በጣም ብዙ መታየት ያለባቸው ቦታዎች ስላሉ ወደ ሀገር ስንገባ ጭፈራው ሳይሆን ምን ሳይሆን የሚያስፈልገው ኢትዮጵያን እንወቃት እላችኋለሁ። ይሄ ደግሞ ቁስቋም ይባላል። ቁስቋም እናንተ ይገርማል እኮ ቁስቋም ታውቃላችሁ? እኔ ግን በቃ በምናብ ነው የምጎበኘው። ሄድኩ በቃ በጉብኝት ስማ ማይ ጋድ መቼ ነው አገሬን ጎብኝቼ የምጠግበው? መቼ ነው አገሬ ገብቼ አገሬ በአግባቡ ማየው? መቼ ነው ያን ቀን ያን ሰዓት ናፍቃለሁ። አገሬ ማማዬ እጅጉን አድርጌ እኔ እወድሻለሁ። ክፉሽን አልስማ ስሰማ ያመኛል ማሚዬ እናቴ። እንዴት አያችሁት? ደስ እንዳላችሁ እርግጠኛ ነኝ። በጣም እርግጠኛ ነኝ። አሁን ደግሞ እስቲ አንድ ጊዜ እናንተንም ከማጨናንቃችሁ ወደዚህ ላድርገውና አንዴ አድርገውና አለው። እሺ ኑሪልኝ እንደምትሉኝ ተስፋ አድርጌ እናንተም ኑሩልኝ። አሁን ደግሞ ወዴት ነው መሄድ ያለብን? አብረን ከትማለን። አብረን ላይብራሪ ውስጥ ዋና ለእናንተ ብዬ ካዘጋጀሁት ያላየነው አለ እንዴ? አሁንም እዛው ነሽ እንዳትሉኝ። ኦኬ ሌላ የታለ መሰላችሁ? እና ወደ ኢትዮጵያዬ ጋር መጥቻለሁ እና ይሻለን ጎበኝሻለን። እሺ ልጆችሽ ቋንቋችን ይላል እንግዲህ ልሳነ ግዕዝ
በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ
አሐዱ አምላክ አሜን። እንግዲህ ሁላችሁ ሰላም ተፈቅዶልን ነው ሰው ቅዱስ ያልነው። እሱ ከፈቀደ ማን ያግደዋል? 1664 ዓመት ያስቆጠረ ለቸርች ላሳያችሁ ነው። እስቲ አብረን ነው እናታችሁ አላችሁ። አብረን እንጎብኛት ካላት በጥቂቱ ለዛሬ የምንችለውን ትንሿን እንወያይባት። ምን ቢጠፋ What's wrong? No, this is not this one, not this one. Okay, we'll ኢሜልሽን ቢሆን አርግሽ ደግሞ ከፈጠርሽ አጫውቹት። ፋሲልን ጎበኘሽ? ዛሬ ፋሲል ነበር ስጎበኝ ነበረው። ደግሜ ጓደኞቼ ሲገቡ ከደግሜ ከፍተዋለሁ። ፋሲልን አብረን እንጎበኛለን ዛሬ ማለት ነው። ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ፊደል እንማማራለን ዛሬ ማለት ነው። ሼር ይደረጋል በኢሞ ምናምን ደስ ባልሽ።
Vamos a ver si describes.
ክላሲካ ምናምን ቢገባ ችግር የለውም። ይሄ የገዛሁት ነው ማለት ነው፣ ፍሪ አይደለም። አንዳንድ ጊዜ እንደዚህ ፍሪ የሆኑ ቪዲዮዎች ክላሲካ ሲገቡ እንትን ይሆናል፣ ምንድነው ኮፒራይት ይሆናል ምናምን ብላችሁ እንዳሰቡ ይሄ ገዝቼው ነው ማለት ነው። እና አትጨናነቁ ማለት ነው። ክላሲካ መግባት እንደሌለበት አውቃለሁ። ይሄ ግን የተገዛ ነው። ቀጥታ ከራሱ ከዩቲዩብ ገዝቼው ስለሆነ ክላሲካን ቢገባ ሙዚቃን ቢገባ ራይት አለ። እሺ try.
We're climbing this for the subscribers. I don't know if everyone would come here. Let us know if you guys would do this hike. Yeah, a little bit why we're here. We're actually filming a story for someone else. So the first 2 days we're doing that. That mountain over there. Even crazier hike. You have to use a rope. Actually, this is still pretty crazy. If you do want to come here, tour agency we went with is called ETT, Ethiopia Travel and Tours. So winded. Mariam Korkor.
1664 years old, sir. This is one of the oldest cemeteries.
Who wants to go in that door? We go in that door. Take our shoes off. Take our socks off.
It's nice and cool in here. Also, it looks really old because all of the frescoes are like rubbing off. They said it's a 4th century church, which means it was built only 400 years after Jesus, which is crazy. So this church, super old. Honestly, I can't even fathom that it's 4th century. And the frescoes in there, I mean, I'm sure they've been repainted over a couple times in the last 1,000 years or so, but they're still super old. And you can see a lot of them were worn out. But such crazy history. So cool to be able to witness it firsthand.
It's pretty wild. It's like seeing a history textbook in real life.
Yeah. So we're going to go see the second church now. It's really close, so that's good for us.
Do you have my mom?
Yeah. This place is not for the faint of heart. It's terrifying. The cliff is right over there. Still not as dangerous as Abuna.
I don't know, man.
This is the church.
Yes, this is the church. The church of God.
Alright, so we just saw the last church. We're now going to go over to this epic edge here, fly the drone a bit, get some drone shots, and then we're going to call it an end for this church time here. I think I took the wrong path. Almost going to fall there. It's so crazy. Can't believe these churches. I go down here? I'll show you now quick when it's how far down it is. Definitely one of the more scary cliffs we've ever been at. So this cliff's crazy again, so scary even just standing right here. We're gonna head back down and we'll just cut to the lodge. Show you this place because it's really cool. If you do come to see these churches, you should go to that lodge. Almost done. See you guys. Alright, so we're back at the lodge. Just gonna take a quick. Now we're gonna give a little tour of this lodge and the room here. This is a super cool place you can stay at. Super nice view.
So let's go check out our room and then go check out this epic view from their front lawn. Ugh.
So this is our room. We have other rooms there and there.
Ta-da!
This is our room.
This is it.
Kind of simple, kind of rustic.
Wow.
We have electricity. We have this nice sweet bed. There's also single rooms.
There's also windows.
But yeah, it is cool. They told me to sell wood. Show you the bathroom now. This is the bathroom. Don't know. There's a toilet there. Sweet shower. This is the shower. This is the shower. There's the toilet.
The shower has really good water pressure.
Yeah.
And is always hot.
We'll give you a look of the view it has from this place of the mountain where all the churches are at. But at
Bless
sunset,
you.
so we'll wait a little bit. Alright, we're now gonna go check out the view. It seems like there's a dead end to the untrained eye. I've been in Ethiopia 3 days now, and I can tell this is the path here. Let's go. is it. Hope you guys liked the view as much as we did.
Oh, my legs.
So yeah, this place is definitely super cool. Yeah, the view here is unbelievable. It's so cool. This is Garalta Lodge. Didn't really know, actually didn't know much about Ethiopia before we came, so it's really cool to be able to experience a tiny bit of it.
Northern Ethiopia.
Yeah. If you guys want any advice, if you do decide to come to these churches, let us contact us and we can write you some tips on how to
Getting to Ethiopia, and which airports to fly to,
yeah,
and where to stay.
write us a personal message and we can give you some tips on how to get here and where to go and stuff like that. But yeah, we're done.
That's it. Bye, Ethiopia.
እንግዲህ እንደዚህ ቆየና እስቲ አሁን ደግሞ ወዴት ነው የምወስዳችሁ? አሁን ደግሞ ወደ ተፈቀደልን የገዛኋቸውን በሙሉ ወደዚህ አርቂያቸዋለሁ። ከዚህ ነው የማወጣቸው። ያኛውን ሰብሰብ ስትሉ ነው የምንነጋገረው ብያለሁ። እስቲ ደግሞ ወደዚህ ኢትዮጵያዬ ካለሽ ነገር ትንሽ ላቅርብልሽ እስቲ። ሰው ባለው ነው እስከዛ ደግሞ ስራ እየሰራሁ ስትመጡ እያየኋችሁ እኔ ድምጻቸው በጣም ነው በናቸው still up. ሰላሳ ደቂቃ ቀርቶናል። እርግጠኛ ነኝ ጓደኞቼ መምጣታችሁ ደርሷል። ያኔ የምንወያይበት ኢትዮጵያ ካልዋት ነገሮች አንዱ የሆነውን ነገር ነው ዛሬ ነው 30 15 ነው ደቂቃ ነገራችሁ ልሆንም ጅንጀሮ አልሆን እንደ ጦጣኔ አልሆን እንደ ዝንጀሮ ጎሬላ ይሉኛል የዘንድሮ ኑሮ በተፈጥሮ ጸጋ አምላክ ያኖረን ዛሬ በሰው ስራ እንሰደዳለን ያሉ ይመስለኛል እንስሶቹ እንሰደዳለን በተፈጥሮ ቢሆን በሰደድ እሳቱ እንሰደድና እንጣለን በሳቱ የምንሰደደው መኖር ቢያቅተን የሰው ልጆች ክፋት ቢያስቸግረን እዚህ ድረስ ደርሶ ተራራው ደርሶ ተፈጥሮን አየኋት ከእግር እስከ ራሷ ማንም አልገባም እንደ ዛሬ እንግዲህ ልገባበት አልችልም ብቻዬን ነው ባንድ ኔትወርክ አላደርገውም ሰላም እንዴት ነሽ? ዋው በጣም አሪፍ ነው። ሜሮኒ አመሰግናለሁ። ግብት ብለሽ ነው ውጤት የምትይው ለምንድን ነው? ትንሽ እንወያይበት በሀገራችን ባሏት ነገሮች ላይ በፊደሏ በምናምን ሰው እስኪገባ እየጠበቅኩ እስከዛ በዚህ አብረን እንጎብኝ ብዬ ነው። በትዝታ እንኳን እስቲ ሀገራችን ንግባ ብዬ ነው። ትንሽ ቦታዎችን አብረን ጎብኝተና አሁን ደግሞ ያው ሰው እስኪገባ እየጠበቅኩ ነው። እስከዛ እስቲ አለን ገብተናል፣ ተጫውቺ በርቺ ምናምን በሉ። ትናንትናም ቆንጆ ሩዝ ይዘን ነበር ስንወያይ ነበር። አልመጣሽም ማማ ነው በሰላም ነው? እኔ የጎበኘው ቤትሽን ሁልጊዜ አንቺ ትመጫለሽ ሲመች አንዳንድ ጊዜ ለምን እገጥምልሻለሁ እኔ ታውቂያለሽ። ዮሲዬ አዎ ላንቺም ነው፣ ግን ሌላም ሰው አለ ይኸውልሽ ብቅ ጥልቅ የሚል እንዳንቺ ማለት ነው ዮሲዬ። ለዛ ነው የዘፈንኩት። አለን አልሽኝ። ቴንኪው። ስለኔ ነው ወይ ነው ያልሽው? እስቲ ቆይ አይታየኝም እኮ እዛ ጥቁር ነገር እየሸፈነ ወደ ላይ ሲወጣ ነው የሚታየኝ። ግን ሁልጊዜ እጠይቅሻለሁ እያልኩ ሴት ነሽ ወንድ ነሽ? ዮሲ እኮ የወንድ ስም ነው። ቻናሉ ግን ብዙ ጊዜ የሴት ስለመሰለኝ ነው። ደግሞ ዩቲዩበር አይደለሁም ብለሽኛል። ሰብስክራይብ ላርግሽ ስልሽ አይደል ዮሲ? ሴት ነኝ ብለሽኛል። ስለ ቴንኪዩ። ግን በእውነት በጣም ነው የማመሰግንሽ ሁልጊዜ። እንደውም አሁን መጻፍ ጀመርሽ። በፊት አጽፊም ነበር ከውስጥ ነኝ ብቻ ብለሽ ነው በእምትልኪልኝ ነበረው። አሁን መግባት ብዙዎች እንደዛ ናቸው። በውስጥ ነው እንትን የሚሉት ያው ዩቲዩበሮች ስላልሆኑ። ግን እንደዚህ ሀይ ብለሽ ስታጫውቺ ደግሞ ደስ ይላል ሰው እስኪገባ። ቴንኪዩ። ኧረ ሁልጊዜ ነው የምትመጪው፣ ላንቺ አይደለም ያልኩት። እንኳንስ ነይ ብዬሽ አስፈልገሽኝ ትመጪ የለ ወይ ልጥቀም ብለሽኝ። አልተሳሳትኩም። እስቲ አሁን ወደ የት ነው የምንገባው መሰላችሁ? ጓደኞቼ ገባ አላሉ ወጣም አላሉ። አንቺ አለሽ አንድ እህቴ ገብታ ነበረ። አረነው አለች የለችም። ምክንያቱም አያሳየኝም አለች ብሎ አያሳየኝም የለችም። ገባ ብላ መሰለኝ። ኦኬ ሰዓቱ 6 ደቂቃ ከዚህ 10 ሚኒት ወይ ሚኒት ጠብቅና ካልገቡ ጓደኞቻችን ቀጥታ ወደ ገደለው እንገባለን። ለገዛ ለአሁኑ ይሄንን ጎብኝ ውስጥ አቤት ተፈጥሮ ግን አይገርም። እንዴት ምን እያደረገች ነው የፈነቀለችው ከመሬት ውስጥ? እኔ እንስሳቶችን ሳይ ምን እንደሚገባኝ ታውቃላችሁ? ምን ያህል እግዚአብሔር የሰው ልጅ አብዝቶ እንዴት እንደወደደው በጣም ይገባኛል። በጣም በቃ ማለት ብዙ ነገር አለ ማለት በተፈጥሮ ግን እስቲ አስቡት ቤት ምናምን እንደዚህ ነው የሚኖሩት። በእርግጥ ይሄም ራሱን የቻለ ውበት ቢሆንም በጣም በቃ ለኛማ እግዚአብሔር አምላክ አድልቷል ይወደናል። ምንድነው የሚጨሩት? ምግብ እየጫረች እናትሽ እስቲ ምን ጉዳይ ነው ማለት ወይኔ እርቧችሁ ነው መሰለኝ በመድኃኒዓለም ተርቦ ነው በቃ እስቲ ደግሞ ትንሽ ደግሞ ይሄን ጎበኝናል። እዚህኛው ቤት መግባት ነበረብኝ በእናታችሁ። እንሱስ እንደያዘኝ ታውቃላችሁ። በቃ እስቲ ይሄን ጎብኝተናል። ስለዚህ ወደ አንድ ሰዓት አልፎናል ማለት እኮ እናንተ ስጠብቃል። ስለዚህ የትኛው ነው ይቀር? ፏፏቴው
ምን ችግር አለ?
ይሄንን ማን አቀረበው? እስቲ ገጠር ልውሰዳችሁ። ገጠር አልናፈቃችሁ? መጣችሁልኝ? ይወር እንደ ሄቨን ብሏችኋል። እንግዲህ የቱ ጋር ነው ሄቨን? አብረን ይበናል። የት ነን? እዚህ በር ላይ ምን ይታያል? ወይኔ ወሰዱት እንጂ ቤተልሔም ቤተ ማርቆሪዎስ ነው ደግሞ። ሰላም ሰላም ሰላም፣ እንዴት ናችሁልኝ? ወይኔ ያላየሁትም ነበረ እኔ ተመስጬ ያየሁኝ። በቃ በጣም ይቅርታ። ኧረ ታሪክ እስቲ ነኝ ልጅ እንጂንሽ ቤትሽ የት ነው ምናምን ማን ነው እናትሽ? ኦ ማይ ጋሽ ላይክ አድርጋል ግን ዝገባ ከዛ በኋላ ይቀጥላል እንጀራ። እኔ መቻየው ጉዴን አንተ እኔ ተመስጬልህ በቃ ኮምፒውተሩን ነው እያየሁ የነበረው። እስቲ ማን ነው? ድምጽሽ ደስ ይላል። በጣም አመሰግናለሁ። ልጀንጅንሽ ቀጥል። ስምሽ ማን ነው? ኢትዮጵያ። ቤትሽ የት ነው? ምድር ላይ። ኧረ አውሪ። እሺ አላየሁትም ነበር። በጣም ይቅርታ በእናትህ። በልጀንጅነኝ። ዮሲ ግን እንዳያየ የኔ ማር እያለ ነበረ። ሴት ነው ወንድ ነው አይነግረኝም። ዮሲ እንግዲህ ፈረስቲው መጥቶ ልጀንጅንሽ እያለ ነው። ይጀንጅነኝ። ጀንጅነኛ ዛሬ ኢትዮጵያን ጉብኝት ላይ ነን። ጎብኝ ውስጥ ጉብኝት ላይ ነን። ዝም አልከ አውሪኝ ብለኝ ነበር። አቤት ብዬ ስመጣ የለም። ዮሲ እኔ ቆሜ ነው ሞቼ ብለዋል። መልስ የለም። አላየሁትም ነበረ። እኔ ቆሜ ነው ሞቼ ይላል። በተያያዙ እንግዲህ ኧረ ጉብኝቱ ኢትዮጲያ ሀገሬ መመኪያዬ ነሽ ክብሬ ኢትዮጵያ ሀገራችን። እንጎብኛት እስቲ። ወንዙን ተራራውን ሸንተረሩን ሳየው በናፍቆት ፈረስ ላይ እኔ ጋልባለሁ። እማምዬ እናትዬ እናት ዓለም ኢትዮጵያዬ እንዳንቺ ማንም የለም። ያለሽን በሙሉ ለዓለም እየሰጠሽ ልጆችሽ ሲራቡ። ኧረ ቆይ ፈረስዬ በእናትህ ና ተመልሳ አላየሁትም ነበር። አም ሶሪ በእናትህ አለ። ይኸው ቀብቻለሁ። ፈረስዬ ፈረስቲው ኧረ አውሪኝ እያልከኝ ነው። እያወራሁ ነው። ና ተመልሰህ ቆይ ዮሲ በእናትህ ፈረስቲው ጎግል አድርግና ና በለው ና ፈረስቲው ብዬ እኔ ቆንጆ ተመልሰና ዮሲ እንግዲህ ይቻለው አገሬን አይልም ወይ ሰው አይልም ወይ ሰው። አቤት እንዴት ነው ግን የቀረ ነው እንደው ጌታ ሆይ መቼ ነው ካለም እኩል የምንሆነው? ናፈቀኝ መቼ ነው ናፈቀኝ እኩል የምንሆነው? እኔ ስለ ሀገሬ መልካም ነው እንደው የምመኘው ግን በጣም በቃ ቅር አይላችሁም? የሆነ ነገር ስታይ በትዝታ ፈረስ የጋለብኩኝ ካለሁበት ሆኜ አገር ገባሁኝ። በፈረስቲው ላይ የጋለብኩኝ በትዝታ ፈረስ አገር ገባሁኝ። አብረን እንጋል በትዝታ እንግባ ሀገር። የት ጋ ነው ያለኸው ፈረስ? የት ጋ ነህ? ፈራሲ በእናትህ ላይ የውም ነበር መጥቻለሁ ከች ብያለሁ በእናትህ አጅንጅ ነኝ you say ጀንጅነሽ አላልካ what kind of change ነው የምትጀነጅነኝ አገርሽ ነው ሰፈርሽ ነው ምናምን በስማም ተራራሽ ምን ነበር የሚለው ዘፈን አገሬ ኢትዮጵያ ተራራሽ አየሩ አቤት ችግር ነው መንደሩ ገና አይታለም አደጉ ብቻ እንደምንም ብለን የሆነ ብቻ እንደምንም ብቻ አድርገን ካለም ጠጋ ብንል አምሰዋቢ ትመጣለብዬ ደጅደጅን ያየው ከተራራው ማማ ከዛፍ ስር ቁጭ ብዬ እጠብቅሃለሁ ለአንተ እኮ ነው የሁሉ ዘፈን የውበትሽ ማማር ይሄ ደግሞ የማራ ይሄ የሆነ ቤተክርስቲያን ነው እርግጠኛ ነኝ ምንድነው የሚባለው እናታችሁ የሚገርም ነገር እኮ አለኛ ማናቀ እነሱ ይጎበኙታል እኛ ቁጭ እዚህ ኦ ማይ ጋሽ እስቲ ገመዳችን እንሰቅልበታል በቸረት እኮ ነው የምንተርፈው ጧፍ ወይኔ ገዳም ነው እናንተ አይገርምም ኧረ የት ነው በመድኃኒዓለም ይሄ ሰዎች ማይደርቁበት ሀገር የተባለው ነው እስቲ we will see it together እኔ እንዴት እንደሆነ በእናታችሁ አለፈኝ እስቲ ቆይ
We Ethiopian, we had different, and again I told you, at the time of Zagwe,
በዛጌ ስርዓት የነበረ ቃል
other people was talented, there are different build. When you see the pillar, it's built. Can you see here?
Yeah, we see here.
So these are the two bandits, the two criminals. Give a life for this. Yeah. Okay. It's very credible.
I don't know, where is it? I want to see ya. ማን ነው ቦታ የሚያውቀው?
Yeah. But, you know what? So
የሚያማምር ስንት ነገር አለ በጥቂቱ እስቲ ከሚያምር ነገሯ በጥቂቱ ነው እየጎበኘን ያለ ነው በጥቂቱ ማለት ነው ሰዓቱ ደረሰ ማን 9 ላይ አለፈ 9 ሰዓት ነበር አይደል የተቀጣጠርነው ጓደኞች አለለ እኮ መሬት ምን ተጠቀምንበት ምን ሰራንበት በእናታችሁ ይሄ ደግሞ ወይኔ የሚያምር እኮ ነገር ነው ያለሽ ኢትዮጵያዊ ማማዬ እናቴ የቱን ነው ማቀው ነው የቱን እንግዲህ አንድ ቀን መጥቼ ይሻለው እናቴ እንደዚህ ምረብሽ ድምጽ ላይ ልቀንስላችሁ I'm so happy ኢትዮጵያ ኤርላይንስ ከዛ በረረ መሽተነካና አለ ሀብትሽ እንዳለ እንግዲህ የኛ ልጆች ደግሞ ያሉሽ እንጂ እኛማ ድንዙዞች ነን። ምንም ያለማንሽ ነገር የለም። በእኛ ዘመን ጦርነት ነው ያለው። እንግዲህ በልማቱ ዘመን አልተፈጠረም። እኛም ማለት ሰላም ማነው አዲስ የገባ ሰው አለ? እኔ እስቲ አንዴ ላምበው። ቆይ በዚህኛው ሞባይል ላምበው፣ እዛኛው ላይ ስላለ አይታየም። በሰላም እንኳን በሰላም ወደ ቤት መጣችሁ። እናንተ እስክትመጡ ብዬ ነው ይሄን የከፈትኩት። ስለ ሀገራችን ጉዳይ ስላለን ነገር ትንሽ እንወያያለን። ግቡና እስቲ ሼር አድርጉት፣ በእናታችሁ ሼር አድርጉና ሰው ጋብዙ። ላምበበው እስቲ አሁን የተጻፈውን አይታየኝም። በዛኛው እኔ ያለው እዚህ ጋር ነው ልክፈተውና ኢትዮጵያን እያየናት እየጎበኘናት ካላት ነገር ላይ በጥቂቱ እያሳየናት። እሺ እኔ ቆሜ ነው ሞቼ ይላል ዮሴ ነው። አሁን ሌላ ምልክት የለም እንዴ? አክሱም ደርሰናል እንግዲህ ስንጎበኛ እንዳደነግጡ የተፈቀደ ነው እሺ ምን በላችሁ ጥብስ ከዛ ቢራ ጎረና ናለኝ እንደገና ተመችቶኛል ወይ መላለሽ አልወይ መሎ ويمل أنا أشعل ويملو ملا ملا በጣም ያምራል አመሰግናለሁ ማማዬ ላይክ ያረጋችሁ ስትገቡ በጣም ያምራል ብላለሽ ገኒ ፈረስዬ እስቲ እስክስ በያልከኝ ነው ልበልልሽ መጀመሪያ በእናት እንደውም ቆይ ልመልሰው አይገርምህም ቆይ ልመልሰው አንዴ እንትን ወደ ዘላ ዞሮና ማሩን አይገርምም ላንተማ ምን ዘምርልህ እና ይኸው ከዚህ ነው የምንጀምረው አሁን እስክስ በለኛል አባይ ቢሞላ ልጅንጅሽ ነበር ያልከኝ አሁን ደግሞ እስክስ ቤት ለኛል አንገላታኝ መስፈርቱ ነው የጅንጀናው መስፈርት ነው አሰቃየኝ እኮ እስክስ ቆይ አሁን እዚህ ባህሉ ቤት ሲገቡ በማሲንቆ ነው መለልን መሽዋላ ይደስታችም በቦረና ናለኝ እንደገና ይሄው ላንተ ነው ፈረስዬ ወይ መላነ አለ ወይ መሎ አቤት አቤት ትመጣለህ ብዬ ወይ መሎ በትዝታ ፈረስ ወይ መሎ አየዋ ጨፈርኩልህ ምን ትላለህ እንዴት አየው ድምጼን አሁን ይኸውልህ ወደ ጉብኝቱ ሄደናል ግን እንዴት ነው ድምጼን ወደኸዋል እመጣለሁ ብለህ እያሽኮረመምከኝ በትዝታ ፈረስ በባዶ አደከምከኝ እመጣለሁ ብለህ ደጃችን ያየው በትዝታ ፈረስ እጠብቅሃለሁ አቤት ፈረስ ቲዩብ ተዘፈነልህ ምን ትፈልጋለህ በስማ በጣም ደስ ይላል ተብሏል እሺ እሰይ አሸነፈች እሰይ ተብያለሁ ላንተ የተቀኘውልህ ሳልወደድከው ድምጼ ታሪኬን በቅርቡ መጎብኘት ቢያቅተኝ እንደው በትዝታ በሀሳብ የቃኘው እዚህ ቁጭ ብያለሁ በትዝታ ፈረስ አንተዬ ከአንተ ጋር ያለው ሆድዬ በፈረስ በትዝታ ተሳፍሬያለሁ ይላዳብታ አሁን የታለሽ ብትሉኝ አገር ቤት ነኝ ብዬ በትዝታ ፈረስ እውነት ነገርኩኝ። ይሄ ነው የኔ ድምፅ። እንግዲህ ምን ትለዋለህ? ግጥም ስጠኝ በእናትህ ልዝፈንልህ ፈረስዬ። ሄለንዬ እስኪ ግጥም ስጪኝ። ዮሲዬ ግን ዝም አለ። በእውነት በአንተ ሳይናደድ አይቀርም ፈረስዬ። ዮሲ እጁን እንደማይሰጥ አውቃለሁ። ሄለንዬ ዮሲ ደምሮሻል። እሺ ነግሮኛል። መልእክት አላስቀመጠም ነበረ እንትኑ አይሰራም ነበረ። ያው ዩቲዩበር ሳይሆን ጀስት ዩቲዩብ አለው። እኛ ለሰብስክራይብ ለማድረግ የመጣ ምርጥ ወንድማችን ነው። ሰብስክራይብ አድርጎሻል። ትናንትና ነው መሰለኝ ነገረኝ፣ ግን ጽሁፍ አልጻፈም። ዛሬ ገብቶ ደግሞ እንዲጽፍ እናደርገዋለን። ግን ዝም ማለት ተናዶ ነው መሰለኝ። እስቲ ዝም ካልክ እንግዲህ በቃ ፈረስዬ ጀንጅ ነኝ ልጄ። እሱ ዝም ብሏል። አረ ቆይ አሁን ሰዓቱ የምንጎበኘው ቦታ ይወስነዋል። ቦታው ሲያምራው ሙሉ ቅድምማ ቀይረሽ እንጂ በጣም የሚያማምር የሚገራርሙ ስፍራዎች ነበሩ በጣም የሚያማምሩ ቦታዎች ነው ስንጎበኝ የነበረው። በጣም በቃ ኢትዮጵያ ካልዋት በጥቂቱ ነው ዛሬ እየጎበኘን የነበረው። እንዴ ይሄ ሁሉ ጎብኝተው እንዴት ይችሉታል? በቃ ለማሳየት ያህል ነው። እና ወደ ተሰባስባችኋል ለግባ ቦታው በጣም ነው የሚያምረው ብላለች ገኒ። ሄለና ፈረስ እስቲ ያዥ ብለኸኛል። ቆይ እስቲ በቃ ለአንተ ስል የቱን ልክፈትልህ መሰለህ? ቆይ እንትኑ ላዙረውና አይገርም። አንተ ግጥም ብቻ ስጠኝ እንጂ እኔ ደግሞ እለዋለሁ። አንተ ግጥሙን ብቻ አደራህን እንዳዘልብኝ ግጥሙን እኔ ደግሞ እለዋለሁ። ግጥም አለው። ግጥሙን እየጠበቅኩ ነው። የጠራው ቆይ እሺ በማርያም የሚገርም ግጥም ሊሰጠኝ ነው። ድምፁን ልቀንሰውና ጀስት ፒክቸሩን ብቻ እያየን ይሄን ላምብበው። እሺ መጀመሪያ ነገር ተዘጋጁ እንግዲህ እያላችሁ የጠራው ትግራይ ነኝ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ የጠራው ትግራይ ነኝ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ የጠራ አማራ ነኝ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ ከኔ ወደ አላሳር ይለኛል ደጋግሞ ይለኛል ደጋግሞ ድፍድፍ ዘረኝነት ድፍ ተሸክሞ ሊሰራ የወጣ ቆይ ላምብባ አንተ ልጅ እንዳታፋጀኝ። ቆይ በየትኛው ዜማ አሁን የጠራው ትግራይ ነኝ የጸዳው ኦሮሞ እኔ አይደለሁም ፈረስ የሚባል ዩቲዩብ እየሰጠኝ ያለው ግጥም ነው። እንግዲህ እኔ ዝም ብዬ ነው የማነበው አምነዋለሁ። ምን እንደሚለን እናምነው ግጥም የሱ ድምጽ የኔ ነው ከኔ ወዲያ ራሳል ይለኛል ደጋግሞ ድብድብ ዘረኝነት ድብ ተሸክሞ አወይ ዝቅ ማለት